The Myth of the Cowboy and the Texas Rangers by me, Jessica Ramirez. So, the original cowboy, if you would call it, was actually El Vaquero. He was an early cattle ranch hand, and most of them were Latinos, and they were mestizos or mulattoes. And El Vaquero was replaced by racial stereotypes of the greaser, and what came in his replacement was the cowboy. And the cowboy mostly stole like his whole look. And Gonzalez put it best. He said that the cowboy stole El Vaquero's, his lasso, his or la tierra, cinch, halter, mecate, or horsehair rope, chaps, or chaperos, taps, or stirrups, lapaderas, the chin straps for his hat, barbo quejo, end quote. And the American cowboy was mostly the imitation. So they imitated El Vaquero and saying that they were early ranch hands. Most of them depict the American cowboy as an Anglo instead of Latin American. And in later years, the American cowboy was romanticized by the media. And his new interpretation, instead of just being an early ranch hand, it has a strong connection to justice. And this mostly comes because of the Texas Rangers. So, who were the Texas Rangers? They were common cattle herders and people from the Texas community. A lot of them helped during the Texas Rebellion. A lot of historians describe them as, quote, incompetent, unquote. They were mostly incompetent, and they, as Martinez described them, blurred the lines between enforcing state laws and vigilantism. Most of them also were Anglo, and when they said that their job was to protect the people of Texas, most of them decided to protect. The major thing for protecting the people of Texas was protecting white supremacy. So, how did the Texas Rangers have an impact on the Latino community? Violent attacks against Hispanics was one of them. We can see this in Pierce when he describes the quote-unquote Salt Wars. The Salt Wars were mostly what the natives called it, but it was a situation where this Anglo businessman enlisted the help of the Texas Rangers, and he went into this area of Juarez that had a lake and said that the salt from that lake belonged to him, and that the native people who've been living there have to pay him or have been stealing his money or stealing his salt. And they battled the people there and created a massacre, and those people, they fought back because they knew that that land was theirs. And to rub more salt in the wound, the first few times they battled them, they lost until they got federal aid in the last battle. Martinez even states that in the year 1915, they, quote, executed 250 to 300 Mexican men in 1 year. So the Texas Rangers have been looked at with anger from the Latino community to this day. But America has loved them since. I mean, they were popularized by old Hollywood Westerns. It was built into this idea of manifest destiny and the whole saving themselves from Native Americans and attacks, or most likely them encroaching on Native Americans' land and getting attacked. We can see them being played by famous people like Chuck Norris, and even most popular, the cowboy in The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, played by Clint Eastwood, who in that movie is always escaping death and is like this macho man, and somehow became a symbolism of like America. And a bunch of the Texas Rangers, even to now, they're still idolized. I mean, we have a baseball team named after them, but a lot of them, in my opinion, were just imbeciles with guns that protected white supremacy. So this is the end. I'm sorry that the camera seems all shaky. I didn't know how to record on Screencastify, so I recorded it on my phone. So that's all. Bye-bye.